All right, so here we have it, the Neewer TL96RGB light stick. So I've been waiting for quite some time to get my hands on a light stick for the studio, but the real question was, how much did I really want to spend on it? And if you've seen the prices of some of the lighting setups, they can get absolutely insane so fast. I mean, you can spend thousands of dollars just on lights. You're not touching your cameras, you're not touching your microphones, and so yeah, you gotta have a lot of money if you want to have a really cool lighting system. However, I think I can get away with something that is really optimal for under a couple $100. So we're gonna play with this and see just how good of a lighting setup we can get out of these small little tube lights. So there was a couple things that I thought made this light pretty cool for the price, and I guess we'll just have to see how good it really is. Starting off at the top, it's got a magnetic function here, which I would check whatever you're going to mount it to, because I think I have some sort of like tungsten carbide that holds one of my cameras up and it doesn't stick to it. So just a little bit of food for thought there, because that's one of the things I did when I first opened it up. I tried to stick it to my stand, wouldn't stick. So buyer beware on that. Might not work on everything that appears to be metal. 2500 milliamp hour battery, pretty good. I think so far I've got one running next to me and I've had it on for the better part of maybe 30 minutes, and I'd say that's probably eaten through about half the life. I think they're quoting like 2 hours on this thing, but we'll put that to the test one of these days. 97 CRI, don't really know what that means. I'll probably have to research that. Your CCT, so all you really need to know for this function is it's basically the amount of warm light to blue light, and the numbers 2500K to 8500K are just a way to display what color that is. The lower it is, the warmer the light, the higher it is, the more brighter, fine-tuned blue, if you will. This 6 watt, I'm assuming that's the wattage at which the unit draws on the system. The 20 scenes, which I've just now found out because I was playing with it, is actually the different FX scenes, and I'll kind of take you guys through a couple of those, and I'm sure there will be a lot to look at just on this one aspect. I was actually really stoked to find out that this had a lot more functionality than I was actually planning on getting out of it. HSI, oh yeah, so HSI is your hue, saturation, and index, and there's a whole like learning module that you can do just on this between the difference of that, RGB, CMYK, all of these different color grading functions. I'm not the expert, maybe I can find a video that will help you guys understand that. RGB light, pretty self-explanatory, red, green, blue. And then you have this 800 lux. I'm not super familiar with lux settings or really the lux measurement whatsoever, but maybe I can give some more detail on that once I start to play with these things. Alright, let's see what else we got here. TL96 RGB light stick, input 5 volts at 2 amps, power 6 watt. Okay, so we're right on that. Battery 3.7 volt, 2500 milliamp, 9.25 watt hours. Looks like they're giving us some QR codes to go and check out their swaggy swag. Alright, that is pretty much it. I don't see anything else indicating that we need to be looking at anything else on this box. Alright, cool. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Excuse me for not bringing my knife to work today, but this should work all the same. RIP overhead camera. Alright, there we go. Let's close these scissors so we don't create more problems today. Ooh-wee. Alright. Man, I don't know what it is about these unboxings that is just so entertaining to do. I think it's just because like once you hit a certain level of cinematography understanding and lighting and camera settings and angles, it becomes way more fun to do these than just setting up a single phone camera and going at it. Oh, look at this. We opened it up the correct way today. You guys get to see the actual product I'm viewing, unboxing, whatever. So whenever you buy it, okay, so that folds out here. Maybe I need some some follow-up training on how to open a box, because intuitively I would think whenever I go to open something that the product facing me is how the product's going to come out of the box. However, that doesn't always seem to be the case. No pun intended on that either. Okay. Wow, wow. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your Neewer TL96RGB single magnetic unit. It's pretty. For a sub $30 product, you've got a nice finish on here. It's got a nice polish, kind of like the JBL earbuds. It's a little bit more sleek, if you will. We do have some really cool knurled texturing. I'm assuming that helps for when you're taking it off for magnetic situations. I don't think I have anything magnetic here. Let's play with our scissors for a second. Okay, so there's your magnetic test. In fact, what I've learned is you've got magnetic on the top, bottom, and we'll call it the side. So I'm assuming right here where these other indentations are, or notches, whatever you want to call them, that is where you're going to find your magnetic functionality out of these bad boys. Okay, let's see if we can read what this says. I think those are just manufacturing addresses, not very important. Neewer, which is our company. All right, we've got all the same box information on there. Don't throw these in the trash unless you want to start a fire. That is a great way to start a fire. Just throwing these bad boys in the dumpster. Okay, cool. Oh, was I supposed to make that more cinematic? Yeah, whatever. Okay, so it is a long hold to turn on this lighting setup. Let's get that out of here. Okay, so you do need to do a long hold to get this turned on. But once you do, you're greeted by a pretty nice, brilliant little light here. And so here's the cool thing. All right, check this out. So you have to hit the power switch. There's a little lock button that was up there, and then it is now migrated down to the bottom of the screen. And what we have now is the amount of CCT that we can use. I'm not going to use the full naming convention of it because, quite frankly, I forget them pretty frequently. However, let's run through this real quick. So that's at 1, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 100. Okay, here it is on absolute full blast. So if you're watching it on the overhead camera, you should be seeing this at 2.7K resolution with a 24 frame rate. If we are watching here, let's do this better. If you're watching over here on the other camera, that is also 4K, but I think we are at, I can't see, let's see. All right, if you're watching it on this 4K setup over here, you're seeing it at 2.8 on your f-stop, and it's actually, looks like it's actually blowing out the lighting, and 125 frames per second. Okay, so 100 is pretty strong for these. Let's see, I'm gonna run this until my lighting drops back down. Light meter has me at 1.3. Yeah. Okay, so these are really, really powerful. Depending on what settings you're using. Obviously, anything with a low f-stop, you're gonna be letting in a lot of lighting, so you're pretty much gonna get blown out no matter what it is. All right, let's see what happens when we hit the power again. All right, so your power is just gonna, so by hitting your power button, it's gonna lock what setting you're getting in and out of. I really do like that. I think that's very helpful whenever you're playing with systems like these, because it's very easy for them to, they could have just put a 5th button and then now it's a whole nother fiasco of figuring out how this thing works intuitively. I think that's been the cool thing is, aside from having to figure out that one function by reading through the manual, I have more or less figured it out on how this thing works. Okay, let's see here. So we are starting at 2900K. Let's see, maybe I can show, no, that camera can't see it. Okay, 3500. All right, I'm just gonna run it out to the max real quick. So this goes all the way up to 85, I believe. Okay, that's 85. That is pretty dang bright. Yeah, if I show the other camera, I bet my light meter would not be happy. 1.3, okay. Oh, that's why, because we're only at 18%. Let's see what happens when we go full blast on this. I'm sure all of my lighting's gonna get blown out, but for the sake of doing a true product review. Oh yeah, so at 100 with that lighting setting, it bumps me almost into 2, which is pretty much not usable footage anytime you're going to do something that is a professional grade. All right, there's your CCT functions. Very nice. Oh, whoops. Oh, it's because I set it to 0. Okay, so you get 0 to 100% as far as your lighting control that's on there. Let's run through. Let's just run back down the scale. So that's from 8400 moving all the way down to, I think, 2500 is what they're saying. So, and that should put us at the bottom. Yep, 2500. Okay, so that is your full range on your CCT. Let's move into a couple of the other components on this thing. Now we come into the HSI setting, which is hue, saturation, and I believe intensity. Which, the cool thing is, we basically get to change all of those settings, if you will. So HSI, on your HSI wheel, you're actually going to get, it should be values 0 to 360 on this. And the cool thing is, I believe once we go back down, no. I thought this rotated all the way around. Interesting. Okay. Maybe not. Oh, just kidding, because that's my percentage of the lighting power that I'm using. Okay. Well, let's take this up. Let's do 55% power. Okay, here is a 55% power. So on the overhead camera, you're gonna get better lighting out of this. Understand that my side camera running at 2.4, it's gonna let in way too much light than it really needs to pull out the right density and clarity on this. So take it with a grain of salt. Understand that this 2.7K camera is probably gonna capture a more true color of what's there because I don't have the f-stop pulled down or anything crazy. All right, so let's hit our power button again. That is going to move us from the top of the panel down to our, this should be our hue. So this should be your 0 to 360 values. So the cool thing is it's a full rotation. Once you go down, it restarts, or once you go all the way up, it restarts back to the bottom. So here's 360, 0 and 360 basically both being just a native red color. And let's run through this real quick. Again, this is running through all the values here. Once we hit red again is when we should be back to 0. Green will put us probably in that 100 range, somewhere in that ballpark, 150, 140. And it does take quite a minute. Let's see where we're at here. 175. Okay, so we're only halfway through the gambit. You're going to get a lot of color options with this thing. Let's take it down to... Nope, I messed it up. Okay. Let's move this down a little bit. Let's see what 30% power looks like on this. Here's your 30% power in a Hulk green, if you will. Okay, not bad. Really not bad. Now let's crank this all the way up. Let's see what max power we get out of this on a non-naturally occurring color. In my opinion, you're really not going to see too many greens just out there in the world, with the exception of neon signs and stuff like that. And that is really cool. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. I mean, you can get some pretty cool use out of this now. 4K cam doesn't care much for it, but on the 2K cam, when we're reflecting off the table, that is cool. All right, that's fun. This is what we paid the money for, so we can put a light in front of a camera. My, how times have changed. All right, so we've already played with the hue. We know how that works. Let's look at our saturation here real quick. So starting at value of 100, moving back down towards 0. You should lose color depth and just go to a straight white by the time we hit 0. I'm correct on that. Okay, cool. I'm glad I didn't have to read into that. I figured that was gonna be self-explanatory. So when you really think about it, at the end of the day, for the $20 to $30 that you can acquire this for, this comes with an absolute boatload of functions. I'm really kind of astonished on this because I thought I was just gonna have like 5 buttons to press and that was it. Like, you know, just kind of looking at it from the product box perspective, just kind of looks like, yeah, you get a couple things, play with it, have fun. However, I did not realize how much actual control I would have over this. I thought I would be a little bit limited just because of the price that I was paying. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of control over this system, but here we are. And then, so here's where you get into the bonus material. I kind of knew it had presets, but I didn't from the marketing. I wasn't sold on that, right? Because I just wanted something that was gonna be quick, easy to use out of the box, and very portable. And so the fact that I get 20 pre-builds, dang it, that is one thing that I keep doing. I keep hitting mode because in my head, I think when you hit mode, it's gonna scan through a system. However, I think, do I just do buttons on this one? Okay, so under the FX setting, you're actually gonna be scrolling through your button wheels. And again, that's kind of like one of the confusing things is, well, I have to hit the power button to do one thing. So power is on, off, and lock. Very easy way to look at it on this system. On, off, or lock is your power button. All right, so setting 1 will be cop car, 2, ambulance, 3, fire alarm. I like the lightning one. This one, when I was scrolling through it, I just got beamed in the face with random, yeah, there we go, okay, better. A little bit blind now. Getting beamed in the face by that light was pretty fun. Fireworks, really like that. Let's see how this looks. I can't see too much off screen, but neither here nor there. You've got the creepy TV, but what else do we have? I'll go through a couple more. Candle, party, faulty bulb, pulsing, strobe. Okay. Anyways, you get the point. It's got a lot of built-in. This is just the initial unboxing. I think there is a lot to do with this lighting system, and we're really gonna put this thing to the test. In fact, we're gonna put it head-to-head with another competitor. So I said, if I can pick up 2 of these for $40, and then if I can pick up another similar light stick for $40 or $50, then I could test these head to head and see which one might make a little more sense, depending on what type of shooting setup you're going for. My idea here isn't to just absolutely try and blow one or the other out of the water. However, it's to see how much more functionality and use can you get out of 2 separate systems. Maybe one having a brighter display and coloring system, but the other 2 are more functional, and you can put them in sequence together for something. This pretty much covers the unboxing and initial thoughts and overview on this product. I'm really going to be super happy to make a full in-depth video on this to try and give some more perspective. If you want to see me do a product review, let me know down in the comments, but also I'm going to ask for some help here. Give me some ideas, give me some situations in which I could use these bad boys for, to maybe give you an idea of how it would work in your setting and if it's something that you would even consider buying. Anyways, that's all I've got. Catch you guys later.